From the land down under, with the rock at its centre, comes the little Aussie watchman. The only Western Pentecostal leader. As Australia warms up to our national election on May the 18th, it is interesting to note that currently Australia has probably the first Pentecostal leader in the Western world. Scott Morrison, who is 50 years old, was initially raised as a Presbyterian but now attends a Pentecostal church in Sydney. The church he attends is called Horizon Church and is a large congregation. It calls itself a CHrit-centred, word-based, spirit-led church. While Australia has had prime ministers who have been Catholic or Protestants, they have never had a Pentecostal leader. In his first speech to Parliament, he claimed this: "So what values do I derive from my faith? My answer comes from Jeremiah chapter 9:24. I am the Lord who exercise loving kindness, justice and righteousness on earth, for I delight in these things, declares the Lord." On the ground, however, his values seem centred mainly on conservative beliefs and line up with a deep-seated pragmatism. This is clearly demonstrated in the following quote, where he said, "The Bible is not a policy handbook." Public affirmations of faith in Jesus Christ are not common in Australia. Sportsmen do not regularly thank Jesus Christ for their successes, as do our Christian American counterparts. And this is also true of our leaders. They do not regularly publicise the origins of their faith or claim the name of Jesus Christ as they dispense with the duties of their office. This does not mean, however, that the decision is not based on a strong faith. This is true of Scott Morrison. He broke with this tradition over Easter when he invited cameras into a church worship service. This caused quite intense criticism from many within the Christian faith and mockery from the secularists. Many condemned him for politicising religion and claimed the whole thing was a political stunt. Given that Pentecostalism, with their rousing choruses, hand-clapping, tongue-speaking and hand-lifting, would mostly be seen as strange in the Western world, it is difficult to see this as a great political move. More likely, however, a genuine Christian would want people to see inside a worship service. It is a way of normalising church worship rather than political opportunism. Of course, church attendance is very normal. More people go to church than watch the highest-ranking Australian TV show on the weekend. For Scott Morrison, it may well have been a way to show Australia one of the things that is important in his life. As far as we can tell, Scott's religion is true and real, rather than fake, and if so, Australia has once again been blessed despite its obvious failings, having a godly man seeking answers for his problems. And the countries, at the foot of the cross and before the throne of God, is a blessing that few countries enjoy. May we continue to pray for this man as he stays true to God's will on his life, and may he remain successful in the dagger and cloakery world that seems to plague the highest office in our land.